I'm Joe Helko, your host, and welcome to another episode of NCSS Here for You. Since 1958, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services has been providing access to high-quality services which promote healthy living and emotional well-being for the residents of Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Over the years, as the needs of the community have changed, so too have the programs and services that we make available to assist children, adolescents, adults, families, and seniors. We take our role in the community seriously and strive to provide a continuum of the highest quality services to meet the needs of individuals who at any point seek assistance with emotional and behavioral challenges, their mental health, substance use, or an intellectual or developmental disability. 2025 marks a milestone for NCSS Here for You, as it's the 20th year that we've produced shows that air monthly, highlighting the numerous services provided by NCSS and organizations that we partner with in the community. The number one asset of any organization is its employees. You may ask, why should NCSS be your employment destination? NCSS offers employees a vast number of pathways for an enriching career while making a difference in the lives of the individuals that they serve. NCSS has also differentiated itself from other organizations through the benefits that it offers staff. From Best Places to Work in Vermont to Worksite Wellness Award recipient, NCSS provides a culture for employees to flourish and are afforded a work-life balance that is the envy of many organizations. To discuss why NCSS should be your employment destination, I'm pleased to introduce this month's guests. They are Stacy Remillard, Human Resources Officer, and Jessica Brannon, Talent and Culture Specialist. And I'd like to welcome both of you to the show this month. It is great to have you here.
Thanks,
Good to be
Joe.
here.
Happy to be here.
So, so many times people will say to me, what does NCSS do and what kind of jobs are there? And I think one of the things that amazes people is the breadth of types of jobs that are available, and that every job is not a psychiatrist or a therapist, and you don't need certain degrees for every job that the organization has. So, with all that being said, let's start with, first of all, how many staff are currently employed, and what are some of the varied positions that support the needs of the community?
Well, we have about 550 staff, I would say approximately, and probably 200 or a little more contracted relationships across the entire community. And we're in places that you may or may not find us. You may or may not know that we're there. But we deliver services from anything that's community-based. It could be residential-based, school-based, or in homes. We are embedded in law enforcement and physician care offices and doing a whole array of services. I like to say that it's prenatal to grave. We have something for everyone in between. And certainly we have jobs within our administrative supportive support system as well. So we need folks, answering the phones or helping with our medical record or human resources like we do. So we have, I think, a whole variety, about 550 people doing that work.
And Stacy, one of the important things that you said, which again I think surprises people, is that everything does not take place within the four walls of our buildings. It's really more somewhere out in the community. And like you said, we're embedded in so many organizations and that type of thing that people are surprised.
Yeah.
Are surprised. But at the end of the day, everybody is there to make people's lives better.
Absolutely.
When they need it.
Yep.
So NCSS was named as one of the 2025 Best Places to Work in Vermont. And I know it's not the first time the organization has received that award, but it's the most recent. So could you explain the significance of what that award means?
Yeah, so this is super exciting because, like you said, it's not the first time we've done it, but it is different in the sense that we partner with a third party that really administers the program and the process itself. So it is completely external to us, unlike some of the other ways that we survey our employees. So they take a full list of our staff They select randomly a certain number. We complete an employer feedback survey, and then our staff are really surveyed. So being able to be named a best place to work in Vermont is really based off of employee feedback. You certainly have to hit a certain threshold of employees who respond. Thankfully, we've hit that both in 2023 and in 2025. And based on hitting that threshold, the feedback that they've provided have also, we've hit the criteria to be named a best places to work in Vermont. I believe the largest in Franklin and Grand Isle County too, which is super exciting. And we, as an agency, have kind of made a conscious decision to go for it every other year, though it's a program that operates yearly. We kind of ride out the high and the excitement of getting the distinctions. We got it back in 2023. We went for it for 2025, and we'll go for it again next year for the 2027 distinction. And what's great about it, it's not only employee feedback, what we're doing well, but we also learn about what we can do better. So we really spend the next 2 years looking at that feedback, using that feedback, and keeping or changing the way that we do things just to make the employee experience the best that it can be.
You know, and I think what's critically important, and like you say, it's a third-party endorsement, so to speak. And from an organizational standpoint, actually, with what you're saying about the things that the organization can do better or improve upon is really as important as getting the award itself, because it really gives you some really solid feedback for those who work throughout the organization.
And I think employees appreciate the feel of that third-party relationship. Most of our surveys that we do are anonymous anyway, but this really feels that way, and it truly is, just like the other ones. So they feel probably the most comfortable giving both good and negative feedback, things that we can work on. So I think it's a really nice comprehensive plan that we get at the end that really outlines who and where and what is the best and what can change.
Yeah. And just a couple last things on that is that, number one, we're one of only a few Franklin County companies that receive this honor. And secondly, most of the companies that receive this honor are for-profit organizations. So to be a nonprofit that is receiving it is, I think, a great accomplishment for the organization. And, it certainly can't hurt in recruiting staff to have that as a seal of approval.
It's a fancy little logo that we can put on everything.
So let's look at what potential employees can expect relative to compensation if they come to Northwestern Counseling and Support Services.
Sure. I mean, I'm excited about this because we just underwent pretty much a 2.5-3 year process, really revitalizing our compensation strategy and making it a little more modern, I would say. It involved a 3-phase approach where we really looked at and focused on something that we haven't absolutely done in the past as a standalone, which is our external market alignment and where we fit, not only with peers, like we've done that across the state for many years, but other industries, people that are truly people or companies that we're competing with. As we know, we don't only compete in our world, but there's healthcare in general.
Absolutely.
And then, there's even just working at the local shops or bakeries or different things where all of the things matter at this point. So we did look at more like fields to ours, matched all of our job descriptions. We did a whole analysis there. Also really paid attention to internal equity. Wanted to make sure that compression didn't become a real issue. Want to take care of the people we have, as well as the people we're trying to recruit. So it's really a two-prong approach for recruiting and retention. The modernization really included new wage structure in general, grades and grids, and we're going through the process right now of making sure all those job descriptions get updated. Reclassification for compliance, like with the Fair Labor Standards Act, some wage transparency, just overall transparency about what our philosophy and compensation strategy is. The main goal here is really to attract and retain talent. Everybody needs it. The workforce isn't necessarily, there's not more people coming into the work. So we really have to find creative ways to get them to join our organization. And we're going to talk about a lot of the ways that make us super unique and different. And compensation is just a small piece of that. Some of the other things I want to point out about our compensation when we talk about it and think about it, one of the little mottos I would say that you could hear us say around the halls, and staff I think would agree, is we're always looking at ways to put money in your pocket. And so what does that mean? Money outside of just an hourly rate, for example. And that kind of leads me into, we've done lots of retention bonuses, quite a fair bit actually over the last couple of years. Our retention rate has seen an increase. We're about 83%, I think, staff retention right now over the previous fiscal year, the 12 months, which is great. I mean, I don't know what other companies are feeling, but I know that a lot of people struggle with turnover. Our turnover has been, knock on wood, pretty good over the years, kind of hovering around the 15 to 17%. COVID certainly impacted us like other companies, and we saw an increase in the turnover, but that has started to come back down, and I think we just ended our fiscal year at about 19.5. So, we want some turnover. You need healthy turnover for creative ideas and innovation and new people coming in. And but I think it's just one of the things that when I think about our compensation overall, we wanted to also address some turnover and try to bring that number even further down to at least a healthy number. Another huge thing for us has been an investment in education and tuition reimbursement, made possible through some grants that we've gone after through the state of Vermont. And plus our own internal commitment to education and tuition with our own policies and practices, which we've had for many years, but we really kind of have turned up the gas on those things. And so this past year alone, we've put over $400,000 into staff's pockets. So when we talk about compensation, your hourly rate may not be exactly what you want it to be, but things like supporting your education, helping you pay off your college debt.
Sure.
I mean, those are huge, huge benefits, which really turn into real dollars. And then I like to think about our unique sort of benefits that I don't think everybody else has, let's put it that way. And when I think about the investments there, that truly turns into dollars, like AT&T, you probably have a cell phone bill, or some other local businesses and organizations where we have discount programs set up. You can get, discounts on your snow tires, or we did a push for car detailing this past year, which helped staff get their car detailed. And all of this is often made available through active grant and or efforts on the part of the human resources and the rest of the teams at NCSS to just try to bring compensation sort of one step further.
Sure.
So super excited about the real strategy and philosophy that has changed and updated, but I think we go even a step further when we start to really talk about some of the unique benefits that we have.
Yeah, and numerous ones. And when you talk about discounts and things like that, one of the things that comes to mind as well is like the Merrill footwear program. And I mean, just things that each organization does not have.
Yeah.
Other benefits that you'd like to bring up that we offer staff in one way or another?
Yeah, I mean, I think about discounts too and this is real money in the pocket. We have a fuel discount. Everybody needs to warm their home. And so that, if I can take some of the burden off from the paycheck at the end of the week, or, and offering some of those partnerships that we have that really, I think, impact people's daily lives and their economics in general. So financial planning is another thing that I think we really have prided ourselves in with our retirement plan. Super generous. It's like you have the opportunity to earn 4% in the first year of employment with us. And that's, 3-4% from the agency, not only whatever you choose to put in. But that's free money. That is money that's going to take care of your future. And it might be the easiest way to save for your future when we're strapped with other expenses. So that's a big part. We have a great partnership with the United Way. Building Bridges, Working Bridges.
Working Bridges,
Sorry,
yeah.
not Building Bridges. It's our old logo. Our Working Bridges program. And that program is really works closely with our EAP, our Employee Assistance Program as well, to bring seminars to staff on budgeting, last will and testament, just really support in general for people's finances. Do they need help? Just, finding resources for childcare.
Yeah.
There's lots of things. I don't know if you have anything, Jess, on the,
Housing, transportation. We had a great example recently where someone needed to get fingerprints done for their job. And our resource coordinator found them the transportation, but also found a way to pay for that transportation. So they were able to take care of that responsibility fully and completely with our resource coordinator. So I know that they were super thankful and helpful for the resource, and this was a brand new employee who that's their experience out of the gate coming into the agency. So that was a really, really awesome thing that just happened in coordination with the United Way that we were able to offer.
And I think one of the things with that program as well is I know a lot of what they do and what they help with is especially important for young staff members who that's like their first job. And they're trying to navigate who knows how much, depending on are they married, aren't they married, so to the child care point or housing or virtually, I think almost anything you can think in life, they will try to assist people with. And like Stacy said, put that in combination with the EAP program that the company offers, and it's really a solid offering.
It really is.
I think, of course, we offer the standard benefits too that you might expect at any employer.
Sure.
Healthcare and dental and vision and all of those kinds of things. But something that's super unique about our structure is just the service that, well, let me back up and say the service. Our structure of healthcare is a self-funded model through a membership that we do with many other businesses and companies, not only like us, but across the U.S. And so we have a lot of cost containment strategies kind of molded in there and baked in, which will help staff save money, such as an MRI, for example. Part of our program, our cost containment strategy, is that you can use this certain provider, and it's free. You won't have to pay for that. And staff need MRIs sometimes,
That's
whether it's a
huge.
knee. And there's other benefits. That's just one example. But I also think about telehealth. We have lots of young staff. We have seasoned staff like myself who've been around a long time, and cold season comes around, and you've got the need for maybe telehealth, a teledoc visit, and we pay the copays on that. So that's a free visit to choose. So it's another way to just contain the cost out of your pocket.
Sure.
Again, all rolls back into putting money in people's pockets and really trying to contain the cost on our healthcare plan as well as for the staff.
Yeah. And you're right. At the end of the day, it's what is the net amount that people have to work with each month. And the more, the better that is in that particular category. And going back to when you were talking about the retirement program and some of these benefits, they are actually pre-tax. So that also helps the employee because their taxable number at the end of the year is a bit lower than it would be if they weren't involved in the program.
And we actually have both options because we also offer a Roth. So if you're maybe a person who wants to pay the taxes now, there's a difference.
It's just
Whatever
a
works for you.
different method, right.
One of the strategies that we use in general for our healthcare is we offer 5 if you consider the opt-out plan, different plan, because we're really focused on the members, the employees. What do you need? Because what I need versus maybe what Jessica needs
it's
or
different.
you need, Joe, is different. And
Yeah.
so we'd like to try to have people pick the plan that works best for them and their situation, which again can turn into dollars that you keep at home in your budget and not spend on something you're not going to use.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know that certainly the whole benefits package that this organization offers really, truly does differentiate itself from other organizations. And I think a much broader reach of ways for staff to, as Stacy said, put money in their pocket. So, so with that, I want to flip the page and talk a bit about trying to attract new staff members. So, what are the various ways that we attempt to attract new staff to the organization, as well as, of all those things, what approach is the most successful in attracting employees? And before we get into that, let's listen to one of our staff members, or watch, I should say, this short video on what she has to say about working for NCSS.
For me, I grew up in a family that really valued giving back to your community. I like working at NCSS because my personal values line up with the professional values of the agency. The school-based services we see on a daily basis, our ability to impact kids in accessing their education. I think that working at NCSS is priceless. We make a difference in the lives of kids. I really want people to come here. I love what I do here, and I definitely feel connected here in a way that I'm not sure I would at another place.
So I know that Amy speaks, as many staff members do, as to, working at this organization. So with that.
We are wherever we can be. So when I say that, we partner with local universities. We make sure that we have a presence at their job and career fairs, both in the spring and the fall is the typical schedule for that. Anytime we are given an opportunity to attend a career fair outside of that traditional university structure, we're going to be there. Good examples of that is also in the spring and fall. VermontJobs.com hosts a job fair at the University Mall. So that is more of a passive job seeker experience for us. You aren't necessarily going to the mall knowing that you might be engaging with employers, but it could spark something in you that you didn't realize that you were looking for. Another example is we went to the Vermont Lake Monsters game this summer. So another kind of passive job seeker experience. Recruiting can never start too early. The earliest right now in our partnerships is really hosting and working closely with our local tech centers. So Northwest Career and Technical Center here in St. Albans, it's embedded at BFA, and then also the Cold Hollow Career Center. We host job shadow opportunities for students in their human services program. They are right now, they're doing it. So they are working alongside our residential staff, our school-based adaptive programming, and they are just getting that really on-the-ground experience that they wouldn't get just in the classroom. So that's a way that we have, worked alongside younger populations to just kind of build that relationship with them early on. And we've actually hired people once they graduate from either high school or college. The exact number I think is between 5 and 10, and it's really exciting. So that's been a lot of fun. Our best strategy is our people. So our Refer a Friend program, we put, again, money in people's pockets for referring people to come work for NCSS. So if you're an NCSS employee, you refer someone and they get hired for full-time work, you're getting $500. Just this year, 2025, I think I looked 22 people already. So it's usually about 35 and 40% of our recruiting reason for why someone might come to the agency. So that's exciting. It works, and we're going to keep doing it.
That's
we have,
terrific.
Probably 100 vacancies right now. So any staff that are watching this, $500 recruit for us.
So NCSS has been, this is another way of looking at benefits or how an organization treats people, but NCSS has been an annual recipient of the Worksite Wellness Award. And can you explain the numerous ways that the organization strives to improve the health and wellness of staff members throughout the year?
Sure. So it's the Vermont Governor's Council on Sports and Fitness. They host an annual opportunity to participate in an organizational assessment of all of the wellness strategies that you are implementing at your organization. So we've gone for it for many, many years. It's changed over the years. So how many years it's actually been awarded to us is above 10. So we've been just getting it year after year after year. Fitness challenges through our wellness platform, opportunities for preventative care, so things like hosting on-site biometric screenings, a chance to kind of get a snapshot into your physical health. Wellness extends beyond physical health, as we know. It all plays a part, but things like on-site chair massage, on-site chiropractic care, fresh fruit deliveries to the site that you're working at. Our wellness platform allows you to earn money for engaging in healthy behaviors. We also, on the flip side of that, look at employee engagement and retention. So offering those fun things that allow you to get together with your coworkers, but also people you may not engage with on a daily basis. So this past spring, we hosted a sourdough cinnamon roll class, and upcoming, we're doing like a paint and snack kind of opportunity. So different things beyond physical fitness, certainly mental health, well-being,
Sure.
financial well-being, budgeting classes, things like that all tie in to wellness. So it's much bigger than just a step challenge, but those things are also fun, and we like to do that too. So we have a really awesome cross-divisional committee that works together. We come up with these ideas and we bring them to fruition, and each year looks different, and yet we bring back a lot of the same stuff too because people enjoy it. So I like to think that it's all tied into that strategy of just recruiting and retaining talent.
Sure.
And we are having a lot of fun with it.
That is excellent.
I know I've had a great tomato sandwich, toasted tomato sandwich from the community garden.
Oh, that's right, the community garden being a part of everything that you're
as
saying.
gardeners.
That's right.
We moonlight.
So, listen, we have limited time left, but I want to delve into the culture of the organization and what someone who's considering working at NCSS can expect relative to cultural climate of the organization.
Yeah, I mean, we have this thought process that culture doesn't have to happen by default. It can be by design. And so that's very much the way that we approach culture. Culture by design, how do we want people to feel? How do we want to recruit them, and how do we want to keep them? So what does that look and feel like all together? We want people to be respected, feel like they belong here, inclusion, like they found a spot where they can truly be themselves and contribute to the work that has to get done. That's a place where you can really make an impact on our
Yeah.
community. We do all kinds of things to sort of support that culture. Jess alluded to them a little bit with our Best Place to Work survey, but we also do annually a staff engagement survey, a diversity and trauma-informed care survey. The wellness survey,
Yeah.
benefits, and what do you need and what do you want, what are you interested in, all of those things are to say you have a voice. We want to hear from you. We need to know what people want if we are going to actually make this a best place to work, a place where you want to be, and a place that folks want to come, quite honestly, and stay. So two of the committees, the WE committee, as I just mentioned, which is called the Wellness and Engagement Committee, and our Trauma-Informed and Diversity Committee, they do all kinds of just different events and strategies and releases in our newsletter to really promote our culture so that people can feel like they belong here and are respected in the workplace. Jess mentioned already like the biometric screens as just an example of wellness, but I also think taking that a step further, we had a very large benefits fair, wellness engagement benefits fair, where all staff are welcome to come and talk to all of our partners. And within there, we had over 300 attendees, I think, this year that actually attended, and you get to have conversations about the culture, where
Yeah.
we work. And when you start to meet with other staff and other people, because we are very spread out, we have multiple locations, over 20 locations, plus all the locations that you don't know we have, where
Right,
we're
right.
just located in the community. So it's really hard to maintain a culture if you're not really focused on it. So it's something that we're very focused on. I want to read just quickly, we just completed our annual engagement survey, and we had 2 quotes, testimonials that I thought would be nice to share. One is, NCSS is the most welcoming, inclusive, caring, and compassionate company I have had the privilege of working for. The collaboration, understanding, and desire to help our community also keeps me invested in working with NCSS. And the last one I'll leave probably this conversation with, I stay at NCSS because of the flexibility I have. NCSS truly allows you to put your family first, and I can't believe I'd get that at any other employer. I know NCSS is constantly evaluating how their dollars can be put back into the pockets of employees and ensuring that staff are compensated as well as possible, despite our limited funding in this field. I am encouraged to grow here and have been supported in doing so. I think those are just nice, culture-specific testimonials.
Absolutely. And no better way to end our episode than with that quote, those quotes. Thanks for including those, Stacy.
Thank you.
So, I want to thank my guests, Stacy Remillard and Jessica Brannon, for sharing their insights on the many reasons why NCSS should be your employment destination. I also want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for spending time with us again this month. You can learn more about all of our programs and services by logging on to ncssinc.org. I'm Joe Halco, and I'll be back next month with another episode of NCSS Here for You.